इंग्लिश के ऐसे प्रयोग जो इंग्लिश की वोकैबुलरी को सीखने के लिए आवश्यक होते हैं, किस तरह से हम शब्दों के ज्ञान को बढ़ा सकते हैं और ये शब्द हमारे को किस प्रकार क्रिएटिव बनाते हैं, जनरेटिव बनाते हैं और कोऑपरेटिव बनाते हैं। In order to make adequate and proper selection of the words, usefulness of the words which are useful for the learners should be selected. For example, the word light is useful at every stage of school. Frequency of words. While selecting words, it should be seen how much popular a particular word is. It should be kept in mind how frequently the word is used by the learners. For example, the words like what, play will have very high frequency in the classroom. Structural value of a word. The words which have more structural value should be given preference for selection. For example, the word and had a very high structural value. Universality of a word. Only the words having universal significance should be selected. For the words war and peace, though are of less significance at elementary stage, but the students will learn these words sooner or later. Usage of applicability of a word. While selecting these words, it should be seen that in how many different situations a word can be used. Productivity of a word. Some words are productive in the sense that many other words arise out of them by applying prefixes or suffixes. The teacher should select them to enhance the learning speed of the children. Simplicity of a word. At the elementary stage, the simplicity of words is the most important principle. Only those words which should be selected by the teacher which follow the principle of simplicity. The simplicity of words will help the children to grasp them easily. Principles regarding gradation. One is simplicity. Out of the selected words, the most simple words should come first, then difficult, and later on the more difficult ones. Structural value. A word which has more structural value for the learners should be taken first, and the words having less structural value for learner should come later on. Immediate utility. Those words which have their utility for the child at the immediate moment should be kept up first. The words which are useful at the later stages should be kept for she other times. Teachability. There are some words which can be taught more easily as compared to others. That type of words should be taken on first, and other words may be placed afterwards. By gradation, we mean putting that selected vocabulary in suitable order. In other words, the elementary teachers should be clear clear in mind what items of vocabulary we should introduce first, what next, and what at the final stage of learning. Grading implies putting the teaching material in proper order. While grading, very simple and common type of structures are maintained for teaching the early stages. Complex structures are laid aside for later stages. In brief, we can say that gradation means which item after which. In this way, through gradation, the structures are placed in order, and after that, they are presented to the learners one by one in their serial order. Discuss the various methods of teaching words. A number of methods can be used for teaching the new words to the learners. Some of these methods are briefly discussed here by showing actual objects. Words which can be taught by showing actual objects should be taught in that manner. For example, the words fan, window, door, chalk can be taught to the students by showing the actual objects. This method is very much useful in the lower classes. It is because it brings variety and life into the classroom situation. By showing models, sometimes the actual objects are very difficult to obtain. In that case, the models can be shown to the learners. In this way, words can be taught to them. For example, if the learners are to be taught the words camel, cat, elephant, etc., their models can be shown to the learners. Thus, by showing models, those words can be taught to them. By performing actions, there are some words whose actions can be performed. Such words are walking, jumping, dancing, writing, etc. These words can only be taught by performing actions. Thus, an activity takes place in the class. The students like to learn those words with the help of actions by using charts and pictures. A chart or picture can be prepared for certain words, which words may be nouns or action words. Charts and pictures are also helpful in creating situations. Thus, a sentence or a group of words can be made clear and vivid to the learners. By using a blackboard. Blackboard is the best type of visual aid for teaching purposes. If the teacher has expertise in drawing, then pictures can be drawn on the blackboard. Thus, by drawing pictures on the blackboard, some of the words can be taught to the learners. By using mother tongue, when all sorts of devices fail for teaching a particular word, it is rather advisable for a teacher to tell the meanings of the word in mother tongue. By creating verbal situation, sometimes it so happens that for some words, visual actions are more possible. Therefore, verbal situations have to be created. For example, if we wish to teach the word forget, the teacher may speak the names of the students. Your name is Shyam, your name is Krishna, your name is Dash, I forget. When such verbal situation comes before the students, they will be able to comprehend that word. Associations. The new words may be associated to be an interactive tool for students and contains an array of words that can be used during writing and reading. By using homonyms, the words can be told by using homonyms. Homonyms are two words that are spelled the same and sound the same but have different meanings. A simple example of a homonym is the word pen. This can mean both a holding area for animals and a writing instrument. By using homophones, words can be told by using homophones. Homophones have the same sound but different meaning, and they are often spelled differently. For example, consider the words plate, plate and plate. A plate is a dish for eating, but a plate is a special note or twist, usually indicating something private, like hair or rope. By using homographs, words can be told by using homographs. Homographs have same spelling but different meanings. For example, the words tear and tear. The tear can mean drop of water from the eyes. On the other hand, it can mean to rip paper into pieces. Either way, the spelling is the same. How can vocabulary be expanded? Explain the methods of expanding vocabulary. Suggest some ways for expansion of vocabulary at the elementary level. Words are our friends, acquaintances, and strangers. In our daily life, we happen to meet some people of strangers. If we meet them very often, we become friendly, and in some cases, relative-like contacts are established. The same thing happens in the case of vocabulary. There is a great need for expansion of vocabulary. In the learning of a language, expansion of vocabulary is of great significance. It is expected from all to improve his vocabulary with the passage of time. Here are given some of the methods of expanding vocabulary. The teacher may suggest some headings like classroom, school, homes, etc. The students are asked to think of the words related to the topic. The teacher continues writing these words on the blackboard. For example, school, teacher, headmaster, officer, class, students, monitor, etc. The students are asked to prepare a list of related words. Through word families, related words may be connected together. For example, kill, kills, killed, killing. A special blackboard in the school may be reserved for vocabulary. One or two words may be written on it daily. At the top of this board, vocabulary for today speak or write the words beginning with that letter. It will assist in expanding the vocabulary. The teacher may write some word on the blackboard. For example, picture. After that, the teacher asks the students to form words with the help of picture. Some of the words formed by the students are cut, pure, cure, etc. The words which have almost same pronunciation but different spellings and different meanings may be classified in different categories. For example, right, 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 flowers, flower, flood. These words are called homonyms. What is the place of practice in teaching of vocabulary? Practice is of utmost importance in the learning of every language. After the expansion of vocabulary, practice stage is all the more significant. Therefore, it should be given due credit. Steps should be kept in mind for the practice of vocabulary. The students should prepare their notebooks and they should note down the new words which they have learned from various sources. When they are preparing such list, they should take care that the context in which they have learned the word is also taken down. The vocabulary learned should be integrated with the structure. Composition can also be developed. The recognition vocabulary should be dealt with only at comprehension level. For example, listening and reading comprehension. The point is that we must proceed from meaningful sentences and not from isolated word units. The different types of written exercises may also be made use of for practicing vocabulary. Vocabulary like grammar is a means to an end. It is not an end in itself. Vocabulary like grammar cannot be taught in vacuum. Words are functional, but the only functional use to which they can be placed is to make use of them in meaningful sentences. Whenever there is a need of introducing new words, it should be seen that it is presented in a dramatic and proper way. The word is a living thing, as it were, and not a musing specimen that and set in a fixed porch. Mention the types of vocabulary. Mention some facts about words. Vocabulary can be divided into categories: active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. What is active vocabulary? Active vocabulary is the vocabulary which the child adopts actively in his speech and writing. This vocabulary is also known as the working vocabulary. The child expresses what he wishes to by using some words. The words used by the child again and again actively are known as this active vocabulary. What is passive vocabulary? There are some words which a child is aware of, but he doesn't use them in his speech and writing. He keeps these words in his unconscious mind. But when he sees them in writing or hears them, he finds himself capable to recognize them. These types of words are said to be with passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary is also called the recognition vocabulary. If we take up any word of English and make efforts to find out its equivalent in mother tongue, we shall fail badly. The meanings are always believed to be approximate. Some people are of the view that a word contains only one meaning, but it is not true. In various situations, we see many meanings of the same word. If we wish to get at the meaning of a word, we should not take up the word in isolation. We should keep in mind that context controls the meaning of words. The synonyms of words within the same language are never believed to be similar. They are always said to be approximate. Any word of one language cannot be compared with the word of some other language. None of them is considered superior to the others. Each one is of great significance. What are structured words? Why are they more difficult to teach than content words? Explain with examples how you would teach them. All the words can be divided into two main categories, and we have discussed earlier functional words and content words. Function words are the words which are used in sentence structure. Function words are also called the structure words. They are of the following types: auxiliaries or helping verbs, pronouns, prepositions, conjunction, relatives, structural adjectives, interrogatives, structural adverbs, articles, negatives. Content words are the main words of the language which stand for things, actions and qualities. They are the words that have meanings by themselves. They are the words we talk about. Use of dictionary in vocabulary building and expansion. The ability to express oneself fluently and accurately is the essence of success in life. This ability can be acquired only through the acquisition of a large vocabulary. Rightly said, great residing with words we grow man. The ease and resilience of expression possessed by the leaders of various businesses and professions are familiar to everybody. In fact, a large vocabulary is an important element in success. Every person who wishes to succeed in life should develop the ability to express himself fluently and accurately. This skill may be perfect only through the acquisition of large vocabulary. One needs only to note the number of people among his own acquaintances who occupy responsible position, and although they never attended college, have a strong command in English to illustrate the practical advantage of an effective vocabulary. Vocabulary building is a subject of universal interest. It is a field that is open to anyone who desires to speak well. Some subjects may never be thoroughly mastered by the same students even with intensive study, but anyone who will devote a small amount of effort for the purpose may acquire a forceful and invaluable vocabulary in a short time. Dictionary, a source of vocabulary. There is no doubt that the single most important resource students have for learning English is their dictionary. There are very few students and teachers who cannot benefit from learning how to use dictionary effectively. There are several reasons why we should teach dictionary skills. It will give students greater control over their own learning and shift the responsibility of learning to the students. Students need to gain the knowledge and skills to get what they form the dictionary effectively. Dictionaries generally generate a great deal of thinking about meaning and language. If students can use dictionary well, there will be minimal classroom disruption because teachers can rely on students to get the correct meaning. Dictionaries can provide useful support not simply when teachers are in doubt, but when they want students to confirm their own supposition about something in English. Dictionaries can serve as books for communication and classroom interaction. Dictionary training can help the students to explore personal preferences and learning styles and may also lead students to new mode of study. Thus, dictionaries are not only a tool for private or individual learning programs, but also they can become a springboard to all sorts of other communicative and interactive activities. By exploiting dictionaries as a source of interaction, we can help students to develop their confidence as dictionary users and language learners. Advantages of consulting dictionary. A student becomes good in Spanish. A learner becomes a better learner of the language. It creates good habit of self-learning. It improves the knowledge of grammar. It helps in improvement of pronunciation. It expands vocabulary of the students. Knowledge of stress is required by the learner. And above all, it gives a lot of confidence to the student and he becomes self-reliant. Activities, importance of dictionary. Every student of the class will be given an opportunity to look for a word and its phonetic transcription in the dictionary. The students will be asked to use a word in different parts of speech such as noun, verb, adjectives, etc. with the help of the dictionary. Acronyms, students should be asked to look for the acronyms in the dictionary. Dear friends, out of these four reading, writing, speaking, listening skills, today we will discuss reading skills. What is the importance of reading? When should we start teaching reading to the learners? Importance of reading. Reading is an important skill to be learned by the students. Bacon said, reading makes a full man. Reading skill is undoubtedly of unique importance in the learning of a language. A.W. Fishby says, reading for those who have been guided to appreciate it is one of the most important activities of life. It brings to us not only a pleasant way of spending the time, but a way of entering into the life of the world. It helps us to contemplate spiritual matters. Thus we find that the ability to read well is very much expected from every person. R.S. Trivedi and D.A. Dhanchi write, in fact, the education of a child is imperfect unless he is equipped with ability to read the decipher, to interpret and to understand properly the contents of the reading material. The intellectual advancement of a child is strictly limited if he is unable to read. Reading is important because it helps the learners. One is reading helps the learners to know the language. education. Education of a child is imperfect unless he is equipped with the ability to read, to listen, to interpret, and to understand properly the reading material. When to start teaching reading? Reading should not be introduced to the students unless they have acquired the ability to speak well. Now, the question arises, how much time should be spent for developing the speaking ability of the learners? Thompson and White write in their book, The Teaching of English in India. The Indian boy is 8 or 9. When he begins to study English, by that time he becomes ready to read his mother tongue fluently. In teaching him to read English, therefore, we need not be concerned with creating in him the right attitude of mind towards the printed or written words. Different linguists give different opinion about it. Some of them say that reading should be started after 1 year of oral practice. Some others advocate that 6 months of oral practice is very essential, but it is an admitted fact that we can't fix up the period for oral practice. It will differ from place to place and from class to class. However, the following factors can go a long way in determining the time to be spent on oral practice. One is age of learners. Two is class in which the study of foreign language is introduced. Three is the ability of the students to understand and imitate the spoken language. 4 is ability of the teacher to maintain interest in the books. 5 is the community to which the students belong. What is the meaning of the term reading? Reading is a process of looking at a printed or written symbol and translating it into appropriate sound. This spoken symbol is further associated with an object for which it stands. Thus, reading consists of 3 elements: the symbols, the sound, and the sense. For example, the child reads the word tree and at the same time he looks at the symbol, translates it into a specific sound which stands for some object, tree, and at the same time visualizes the concrete object or idea for which the said symbol stands. Thus, the reading skill is made up of recognition of graphic marks, the correlation of these with formal linguistic elements, the correlation of these with the meaning. What? Write a note on mechanics of reading. When a person reads anything, his eyes go on moving along with the printed or written symbols. If we watch carefully, we notice that the eyes do not move smoothly in one even moment. In one even moment, they move by jumps, separated by very short steps. He reads when the eyes are having a short stop and not when the eyes are in movement. The number of words read in one complete movement of the eye is called the eye span. While reading, we do not look at the various letters of a word. We rather look at the word as a whole. For example, chair note. C H A I What are the aims of teaching reading? People generally feel that ability to read fluently is the primary aim of learning English. Before 1900, the major aim of teaching reading was just word recognition. But in due course of time, the concept underwent a change. In the modern times, there have been many social changes, and so the purpose of teaching reading have increased. So much so is the change that even the method of teaching reading have been modified accordingly. At present, reading is taught so that a person is able to recognize words, to understand the meanings of words, to react to what has been read, to change ideas and behavior of the students. Reading of mother tongue and reading of a foreign language are fundamentally the same processes. The learner face problems in both the cases. However, in the case of mother tongue, the problems are few because he has already learned listening and speaking at home. What are the problems before the children in reading while learning to read English? There are some problems which students generally face. At the initial stages, a few letters which are slightly different in representation may confuse the learners. For example, the letter M, N, H, K, S, Y, Z. But there are some other problems which are not easy to handle. A few sounds of English which are different from the sounds of mother tongue are misunderstood by the learners. For example, verb. They both produce the sounds like Hindi sound of verb. Another problem in their way will be the problem of English spellings. English is not a phonetic language. Therefore, at the early stage, it is possible that learners may read the words in a funny way. What are the attributes of good reading? How are they useful in teaching reading? Attributes of good reading. One is selection. We do not read everything even in our mother tongue. Even in newspapers, we read only selectively and not everything in it. We choose our reading material according to our interest and personal fatigue. So the selection and choice of the material is important in reading. Second is purpose. We read for some reason. We read novels and short stories for pleasure. A newspaper or a railway timetable for information. Our purpose in real reading is not to understand every word or analyze the text. Strategies. We do not read a railway timetable as we read a novel or a short story. We read a legal document several times in order to understand the meaning and every nuance clearly. But we rush to a newspaper article. In other words, we employ different strategies to understand the text, depending on the nature of the text and purpose for which we read it. Next is speed. An efficient reader reads not only selectively but also swiftly and silently. Often readers read silently and privately. This helps us read quickly. Reading aloud takes more time. Contextual understanding. We read a great deal every day. We read advertisements, signboards, posters, more fluent. Discuss the relative merits and demerits of the different methods of teaching reading. Which method is suitable for teaching reading and write? The alphabetical method, the phonic method, the word method, the phrase method, the sentence method. What is the alphabetic method? This is the oldest method used in India to teach reading. This method consists in teaching the students the names of various letters of the alphabet in that very order. After that, students learn to identify the various letters. The letters are combined to form words. For example, T, A, B, L, E, table. This method has been criticized on following grounds. English is not a phonetic language. The pronunciation of a word is not the combination of the sounds of the various letters constituting it. Consider knowledge. This method is dull and monotonous because the letters of the alphabet do not stand for anything. A single letter stands for more than one sound. For example, the letter A stands for 8 different sounds. The letter U has different sound in put, B-U-T but, B-U-T put. The alphabet method makes a letter the unit of reading. The students who are taught by this method fail to acquire good speed in reading. The phonic method. In this method, students are told the common sounds of various letters. Instead of their names, then these sounds are combined to form words. The words to be taught at the early stages are those with more or less regular spellings. For example, hay, hat, mat, rat. This method has been criticized on the following grounds. In English, the forms of various letters do not invariably correspond to the sound represented by them. Hence, phonic method is not suitable for teaching English. For the words cannot be taught by this method. There are a large number of words in English which have silent letters. For example, down, down, doubt. In this method, the letter is the unit of reading. This regards the speed of reading. Phonic method makes use of unusable vocabulary. For example, nag is used for a horse. Such words are neither interesting nor common words of ordinary speech. The word method. This method is also called look and say method. The word method, look and say. In this method, the word is the unit of reading. A word is written on a flashcard and it is accompanied by the picture for which it stands. For example, the word table is written and there is a picture of a table. The blackboard may also be used instead of the flashcards. In the method, matchstick figures can also be drawn by the teacher. The students look and say the words. In this method, first some nouns are taught and then verbs. Sentences are constructed using these nouns and verbs and contain structural words. Later on, adjectives and adverbs are added to the sentences. The advantages of this method are It makes the word the unit of learning rather than letter. So the students acquire better speed in reading as words have meaning. So reading becomes interesting. PCN has rightly called this method as the one and only rational method. In this method we proceed from concrete to the abstract. The child sees the actual object, then the word signifying it, and then the symbols that represent the same. The disadvantages of this method are, as all the words cannot be represented by pictures, they cannot be taught through this method. It encourages the bad habit of reading one word every time. The phrase method. In this method, the phrase is the unit of approach. This method is based on the belief that phrases are more interesting than words. The limitations of the phrase method are: a phrase does not express a complete idea, so it lacks interest. It is time-consuming to start learning reading, as finally these phrases have to be combined into sentences. The sentence method. In this method, the sentence is the unit of approach. Here, the teacher shows a flashcard to the students on which the sentence is written in print script. For example, this is a table. Simultaneously, P shows the picture of a table. The teacher speaks the sentence with correct stress, rhythm, and intonation. The students speak after him. 4 or 5 sentences are dealt in the same way. Later, the pictures are removed and the students are asked to read the sentences. Advantages of this method are: it lays foundation of all the aptitudes and skills for good reading. It helps to prevent word-by-word reading. It encourages correct habits of eye span. It offers to the pupil from the context and from the continuity of meaning. It makes the job of reading interesting. In conclusion, we can say, we notice that all the methods of teaching reading have certain merits and demerits. In actual practice, the sentence method combines certain good features of the phonic method and the word method. Mention the 3 stages of teaching reading. 3 stages of reading: pre-reading stage or preparatory stage. In this stage, the teacher of English will begin by teaching structures, vocabulary. At this stage, the teacher lays down the foundation for reading with the help of the following steps: materials, techniques, use of reading cards, use of blackboard, use of pictures and flashcards, teaching through familiar projects, teaching through games, teaching through asking questions, use of word building class. Like reading stage or productive stage. During this stage, good habits of reading are formed. The students are taught stress, intonations on letters and words. Post-reading stage. At this stage, the pupils read more vigorously. They are accustomed to the use of books for knowledge and enjoyment's sake. The students may be asked to read interesting little material. Keeping in view these stages, the teacher can find that the students can read their books at a good speed with complete understanding. What are the problems which the students generally face while reading? There are some problems which the students generally face while learning to read. A few problems may be timely, which will be solved automatically in due course of time. At the initial stages, a few letters which are slightly different in written representations This problem remains till the learners become familiar with them, but some problems still baffle them. These are sounds of English. A few sounds of English which are different from the sounds of mother tongue are misunderstood by the learners. For example, word. They produce both the sounds like Hindi sound of the word. They will also confuse English sounds further. Problem of English spellings. English is not a phonetic language, but the learner tend to speak according to the written representation of the language. This gives rise to innumerable mistakes in reading. At the early stage, it is just possible that they may read the words in a funny way. For example, hat, hut, sabat, the knife. A.W. in his book, English Teaching has pointed out that there is no difficulty in teaching reading if we give them the right preparation, the right material, and let them help each other. The teacher should bear in mind that it is easier to teach pupils to read a new language than to speak. Children should not be rushed into learning to read until they learn to recognize the printed symbols. The proper background must be supplied by the agency of home and school and will take a form of stories, discussion of pictures, and a wide variety of conversation on ordinary experiences of life. Some are skills involved with reading, ability of eye movement, ability of wider eye span, ability of visual discrimination in letters, words and sentences, ability of mental link between visual signs and speech sounds, ability of interpretation of words, phrases and sentences, ability to understand the central theme of the passage, ability to understand the meaning associated with words and sentences. What conditions are necessary for learning to read? One is phonological awareness, sensitivity to the sound structure of speech, phonemic awareness, the ability to deal explicitly and segmentally with sound units smaller than the symbols, alphabetical principle, the insight that written words are composed of letters of alphabet that are intentionally and conventionally related to segments of spoken words. Orthography awareness, sensitivity to the structure of the writing system, spelling patterns, orthographic rules, inferential, derivational, morphology, etymology. Comprehensive monitoring strategies that help students to attend and remember what they read. What is reading fluency? Reading fluency implies the speed or rate of reading as well as the ability to read materials with expression. Fluency as well as the ability to read connected text rapidly, smoothly, effortlessly, and automatically with little conscious attention to the mechanics of reading, such as decoding. The concept of automaticity refers to a student's ability to recognize words rapidly with little attention required to the word's appearance. The ability to read words by sight automatically is the key to skilled reading. Some children develop accurate word pronunciation skills. Suggestions for developing good reading habits. Teach himself a good reader. Example is better than research. Same is the cause with regard to reading. The teacher himself should be a good reader so that students may imitate and can walk into his footsteps. regarding reading. We should also tell and talk about new arrivals of books in the class. Library services. Every school should have an attractive library. The books should be made easily available to the pupils from the library to develop reading habits among them. The book exhibition may also be held from time to time. The library should remain open for them. The titles of new arrivals may also be displayed on the bulletin board to attract and motivate the pupils for reading. Proper guidance. The teacher should provide proper guidance in regard to the development of good interest in reading. We should guide the students about the sources of getting good books according to their age, interest, abilities, and capabilities. Survey of reading interest. Questionnaires may be supplied to survey the reading interest of the pupils. The teacher can arrange interviews to find out the reading interest of the pupils. He may visit to their houses to find out the ways that stand in the pupils' interest in reading. Oral reading, the pupils should be given a lot of chances to listen to recitation of poems and reading short stories and plays to oral reading. Discussion. The students who are interested in reading should be inspired effectively by discussions held on the various books read by the different pupils. A healthy discussion on various small topics may also lead them to be interested in reading. Bulletin board. A bulletin board may be placed in each class of English. Illustrated material of reading like pictures, cutouts from magazines, and even interesting paragraphs may be displayed on the bulletin boards. The teacher should ask the pupils to read them. In this way, he can promote interest among the pupils for reading. Follow-up activities. The creative activities such as dramatization arranged in the schools can motivate the students for reading. The pupils may be advised to write down quotable quotes in their notebooks from such activities. It is through the above suggestions that we can develop reading habits of school-going children. According to Professor Raj, we can never hope to improve the study of English in our pupils and help them derive full benefits out of learning a difficult foreign language until and unless this desirable habit is formed among our students first. Dear scholars, those who are preparing themselves for language literature and grammar, these are the basic fundamentals, how to teach English to our youngsters, schools, colleges and institutions. May God bless